band for coming out. We appreciate the support from both schools' pep bands. Like I said before, we appreciate you coming out here as well and joining us this afternoon. Before I get started, I do want to thank just a couple of people here at the Village of Rochester Hills first for hosting us. And Shalene McHale, the Director of Marketing here at the Village. If I can get her, she's over there doing something, taking pictures. She's always running around. So a big round of applause for the Village of Rochester Hills for helping us out today. And then also, as you can tell, we have Noodles and Company on site, and we figured we could lure you here with food, and clearly that worked. And if it wasn't the food, then maybe it will be the cookies at Max and Irma's afterwards. But we appreciate their support for the community and for this event and pulling together. As always, they are the Village is a great place for us to come here and be a part of. It truly is our downtown area for Rochester Hills. So we're always proud to be out here and for their support. I guess at this point, I want to not delay any longer. I can tell the anticipation and the excitement is building. Everyone's wanting to know what this big announcement is that everybody came out here to hear. So to talk more a little bit about the announcement is Mayor Brian Barnett of the City of Rochester Hills. Mayor?
Good afternoon. It's a little bit like church. You got here early to sit in the back. I appreciate that. What if we're throwing free things out? No one will get them. You should move in. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate the introduction, and thank you to the bands. I'm very pleased to be here and what is a chance to share some really great news for the City of Rochester Hills. Now, we're always glad to be here at the Village of Rochester Hills in the middle of the City of Rochester Hills. Some people get those confused, but we don't. We know they're a great partner for the city, and we appreciate all that they do to support local businesses and many of our nonprofits as well, and we're always glad to be out here on site. I want to start maybe by telling you what we're not going to announce in this press conference. Number one, we're not announcing that we've signed a long-term reliever or that we've signed a point guard to shore up our backcourt. We'll leave those to the professional sports teams. We're also glad to announce that no one in the administration has been named in the Biogenesis Performance Enhancement Drug Baseball scandal. So if you're here to see that, you'll be disappointed, although I'm not. We are here actually to share some great news about the City of Rochester Hills. And in all seriousness, if you've read the papers in the last few weeks or months, it's not easy to find a good news story about a city. Cities and municipal leaders across the country have, frankly, been acting pretty poorly. And whether it's indiscretions in office like we've seen in San Diego and New York, or fiscal indiscretions like we've seen in California, Pennsylvania, and most recently on the cover of Time magazine with our beloved Detroit, cities have been struggling to make positive news. Some cities, but not ours. Today I'm honored to stand before you today and share a bit of good news, actually great news, about the City of Rochester Hills. But before we get to that, I want to introduce this afternoon two of my special guests. The Rochester School District Superintendent and Avondale School District Superintendent, Dr. Robert Shaner and Dr. George Heitch, who are both here to share in our announcements today. Now these guys, absolutely, these guys are the real deal. I don't know if you've noticed, but they travel with a musical entourage, which I'm actually fairly jealous of. Well done, gentlemen. And I want to thank them. Actually, let's thank them and those bands one more time for helping us out. You'll hear from them in just a minute as well. I'd also like to take a minute just to recognize a couple city council members that I saw and some school board members. I saw the president of the Rochester Community School Boards, Mrs. Beth Talbert there. If you could wave your hand, Beth, thank you. And two of our city council members, Councilman Mike Weber and Councilman Adam Kokendorf, are over here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no surprise that we live in a great community with beautiful natural amenities, exceptional schools, innovative companies, and picturesque neighborhoods. It's no wonder that now nearly 73,000 people choose to call Rochester Hills home. It's truly a great community. What you might be wondering is how we can make a statement like that. Under what authority do we say these things? If it's one thing if a mayor says it, but it's quite different if the community tells us. Well, today I'm here to report that the community has told us. Under the direction of the Oakland University Public Affairs Research Laboratory, and my boy the Grizz is over here from Oakland University. Thank you very much. He's got nothing to do with the Public Affairs Research Laboratory, I'm quite sure. But every 2 years, the City of Rochester Hills conducts a survey of our registered voters in order to get a snapshot of our residents' feelings on a variety of topics, from everything from roads to recycling, from parks to police. In fact, we've conducted this survey over 6 times over the past 2 decades. This survey is a statistically significant survey administered by an impartial and independent third party and helps give the council and administration an insight into the feelings and perceptions of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to tell you today that the results are in, and Rochester Hills has received an overwhelmingly positive report. Now, let me start with the results of perhaps the most important question in our survey. It was near the end of the 45-question survey, and it was meant to summarize our residents' thoughts about their entire living experience in the city of Rochester Hills. When taking everything into account, the good, the bad, and everything in between, how happy and satisfied with their decision to live in the city of Rochester Hills. As a matter of perspective, since 1997, we've tracked our residents' response to this question, and we've seen the changes throughout the years, mostly in the low and in the high to the mid-90s in the past 15 years. Not bad for certain, and frankly, not leaving much room for improvement. So, how did we do this year? I'm going to ask for some help. Gentlemen, if you could help me with the banner here, and if I could get a drum roll from the pep bands. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to the survey of whether or not you're satisfied as a resident living in the city of Rochester Hills is 99%. Actually, sort of surprised that worked. Ladies and gentlemen, that represents the highest total we've ever had in recorded history of our city in asking this question dating back to 1991, despite some admittedly rather challenging times over the last several years. This overwhelmingly positive response clearly indicates that more residents are happy with their choice to live, work, and raise a family in Rochester Hills than any time in our city's history, and is truly something worth celebrating. But the following question was even more important to us and was of even greater interest, and frankly, it's the reason that we invited so many folks and friends in the community out with us today. The question that followed that question was, what was the most important reason you chose to live in the city of Rochester Hills? Now, there are a series of answers that someone could have chosen, and many of them they involved the city had no control over. Answers like geographic location or proximity to your work. Those responses received support, but they didn't win. What did win in Rochester Hills were 2 things that we can control, 2 things that we have enormous influence over, and it was a tie. Ladies and gentlemen, this really shouldn't come as any surprise because it is an incredibly important aspect of our community. The first reason given by our residents was our award-winning school systems. With 2 award-winning school districts, Rochester College and Oakland University, Rochester Hills has truly become the region's educational epicenter. We take pride in the talent and sophistication of our residents and workforce, and it all starts with an exceptional K-12 education program that includes 2 outstanding public school districts. Avondale and Rochester Community Schools routinely rate in the top percentile based on state performance standards and proudly graduate students that go on to study at universities all over the world. This solid educational footing creates a community supportive of lifelong learning where over 50% of our adult population has at least a bachelor's degree and nearly a quarter of our adult population has a master's. But it all starts at our local schools. And I'd like to welcome these 2 gentlemen who lead those outstanding districts, Dr. Shaner first and Dr. Heitch to follow, to share a few words. Dr. Shaner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on a job well done with the survey and with the information. I think there's a couple things to point out here today. First of all, the importance of a community and people's commitment to developing a community and living in it and contributing. Everything you see in the greater Rochester area is people committed to living in a community and actually working for a better community. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's important to point out how effective a locally controlled, locally elected school board and organization of a school district can be for kids, for the community, and for the greater Rochester area. So I'd really like to congratulate not only the mayor, the city council, the school board, but the community on a job well done, being committed to the greater Rochester area. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the hard work of the support staff at Rochester Community Schools, the teachers, the administrators, and everyone that has a commitment to making a profound difference in the lives of our children. Now, normally I would spend about another 40 to 45 minutes making a prolonged speech till one or two people dropped out, but we won't do that today. What I'd like to do is introduce my friend, Dr. George Heisch from the Avondale School District to make a few comments about this wonderful event. Thank you.
You know, the danger of being second is that everything's already been said. But Mayor Barnett, thank you very much for including us in this celebration, and congratulations on those outstanding results. And those of us in public education know that great schools happen because families, communities, and educators work together to make that happen. That's possible in our area because people here value public education. And we feel that in our schools every day. We feel that from the support that we get through our local communities. And it's acknowledged at a moment like this, when Mayor Barnett believes that it's important to allow us to be engaged in this opportunity. So on behalf of all of us in the Avondale School District, I want to congratulate the City of Rochester Hills. I want to thank all of you for helping us become what we are, a great school system. I want to say hello to our pep band while I have the opportunity. Thank you very much today. And it would not be possible without great staff working with great families. So thank you very much.
It's exactly what this community is all about. I appreciate both of these gentlemen and their leadership, and I love how they immediately mentioned their staff, and I want to do the same thing. One of the answers in one of the questions in the survey was, have you dealt with a Rochester Hills employee? Nearly half of our community answered yes to that question. The following question was that experience positive? Did they deal with you in a professional way? And again, the highest recorded total in our city's history, 97% of our residents responded that our employees did a fantastic job. Many of the Rochester Hills team are here. Wave your hands, Rochester Hills staff and employees. Congratulations. Very pleased to be a part of a great team. I did tell you that there were two things that tied for first in this response. And the other one, given by our residents, is the one that perhaps I'm even more excited and more proud. The answer that they responded was the reputation of our community. Now, this is something truly to be very proud of. A reputation, as you know, is not something that can be created overnight or by just one person. It's built on a collective effort over time, reinforced by what is great about our hometown. And whether you work for the OPC or you volunteer for the Rochester Hills Library, or you're partnered with the Rochester Regional Chamber, where are you? There they are. I think they drank before they came here. I always have questions about those red tagged ambassadors. But whoever it might be, you've played an important role in creating this reputation. Whether you're a student at Rochester College, a professor at Oakland University, a longtime member of our Rotary or Lions Club, a Brooksy Way participant, or just a friendly face at the Meijer, Kroger, or Hollywood Market, you also should feel a sense of pride and ownership in this reputation. This is a wonderful recognition for a community, and I share this with everyone, many of you here who deserve credit. If you've been invited here today, it's because we think that you're a part of this response, that you've made a difference, and you're part of the reason we have such an outstanding reputation. And I would like to salute you at this time. Congratulations to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would not be standing here today if it weren't for our collective efforts, our schools, our parks, our natural amenities, our shopping and dining, our nonprofit community, our business community. All of those things make our community great. Our residents have spoken. This is our report card, and I encourage you to see and check out the full survey online on the city's website immediately. It's available now, and our residents rated everything from whether deer and coyotes are a problem to how they feel about that roundabout to whether they feel safe in their home or how they feel they've dealt with employees. All of those answers in great detail are open for your review. I would also encourage you to wear these new buttons that we're introducing today. I think they're being handed out now. They say 99 with a smiley face. You're going to see a lot of these in the future because we're extremely proud. We want everyone to know what a great community we have and just really how proud of it we actually are. Moving forward, we will use these results to determine budget priorities and identify goals and opportunities that will allow us to focus on what's important to our residents. Next Monday, I will present our 3-year budget to the City Council, and peppered throughout that presentation will be budget decisions based directly on the information gleaned from this survey. In closing, I have a simple request. Perhaps you didn't participate in this survey, but you still feel passionately about our community. Well, we want to hear from you. Today, I challenge each of you to tell us what is yours. That's right, we want to hear from you. What is your reason for loving to live in the city of Rochester Hills? Is it the velodrome at Bloomer Park? Canoeing the Clinton River? How about Friday night high school football? The stately class of Meadowbrook Mansion or the old world charm of Yates Cider Mill? Maybe it's just the generosity of a neighbor who helps out in time of need. We want to hear from you. It can be in the form of a story, a letter, a Facebook post, or a picture. We want you to tell us what makes Rochester Hills unique and special to you and to your family. Entries can be submitted to City Hall, to my office, and more details can be found on those cards that are being handed out to you now. Selected entries we'll select and pick and will be featured in my 2014 State of the City address. Today, I think I can speak on behalf of all of us here when I say 2 simple words: thank you. When looking for bad news and municipal struggles, there are certainly plenty of places that can fill the pages of local newspapers. But thanks to you, our community isn't one of them. Thank you for making Rochester Hills the preeminent place to live, to work, and to raise a family, at least according to 99% of you. Thank you, God bless. I encourage you to stay afterwards. Check out the posters that we have, each with individual results from our survey. The pep bands are going to play one by one for the next few minutes. The food line is open, and in just about 25 minutes, we're going to head down to Max and Irma's for an afterglow. Ladies and gentlemen, this press conference is a celebration of our community. Thank you for coming out. God bless.